Tonight on Film Junkee Live, we got some Superman Legacy casting rumors, and we got some Deadpool 3 BS rumors that are causing all the scoopers to go crazy. Kevin Feige talks about the future of the MCU and how they barely scratched the surface, and then of course we have Secret Wars, we have Rotten Tomatoes. He's done some talking. Box office, you Swifties out there, of course made it your way to the theater, and some people were not happy about that. We're going to talk about that as well, but yeah, box office. Matthew Vaughn reveals something that is not too great when it comes to Fox Marvel and X-Men Last Stand. A little thing that they did when it came to the script. We're going to talk about that and so much more tonight on Film Junkee Live. It is kind of funny when Reddit pulls a fast one on the scoopers. It is. It's hilarious. But the sad fact of the matter is like anybody can make up anything when it comes to scoops and whatnot, and we've seen this numerous times. You just can't believe jack shit. But I love how the scoopers get owned every now and again.
Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
Hello, everybody. What's happening? Welcome to Film Junkee Live on your Monday. It is October 16th. That's right, we're already halfway through October. Jesus. Tell you what, these months just blow right by. Hopefully you guys are doing good. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you know when I'm doing this stuff. And I appreciate you guys, of course, clicking in. How you guys doing today, huh? Got lots to talk about, of course. Actually, it seems like there wasn't as much news as there normally is. For a Monday, it seemed like it was pretty slow. You know, not too much like over the weekend and whatnot. But hey, we got some fun stuff to talk about. I want to get your guys' opinion on this Superman casting, Superman Legacy casting, and then of course we're going to talk about the Deadpool Reddit stupid thing that happened, and then Kevin Feige talking about the MCU. We got box office, of course. I know all of you guys saw the Taylor Swift concert movie, sure, and then of course we got Matthew Vaughn talking about some things right here. So let's go ahead and do it. Who's out there? This live stream is the best, as I say all the time. All right, we got Super Gorilla X vlogs. Superman Legacy is going to be great here with Star. Okay, there you go. We got a fan right there. Yeah, there you go. Positive. I like it. Honestly, Kurt's much more of a Jonathan Kent than a Jor-El, at least how I see him. Plus, doesn't hurt. Both he and Costner played Wyatt Earp around the same time. Yeah, interesting. There you go. A little correlation right there. What's going on, Ryan? And of course, we have Mr. Fear Jason. Good to see you, buddy. We got RJ right here. Howdy. Good to see you, man. All right. We got Pet as well. Always great to see you. We got Mr. Nobody. Everyone, I don't think they'll fully reboot MCU. Soft reboot, maybe. Maybe. Let's see. They could use different timelines as a plot point. I said put it, but you said but it. I just read things differently. But it doesn't always work. Just, oh my God. Don't even get me started about the Terminator franchise when they, Jesus. Boy, it's been rough for the Terminator franchise, that's for sure. What's going on, James? This is Sparta! We got Max Wolf right here. What is happening? Doing good? Always good. Hopefully some good stories today to discuss. Yeah, I mean, there's some funny stuff. What's going on, Simon? Good to see ya. We got Just Preach right here. Hope life is treating you well. Yeah, you know what? Can't complain. Can't complain. What's going on, Axel? Good to see you as well. Let's see. RJ says Sean Levy was saying today he thinks Deadpool 3 is in danger of not making its release date. I won't be shocked. Exactly. I mean, remember like last week we talked about how he was confident that they're going to make the release date, but I think a lot of us are going, no, that ain't happening, dude. With everything that's going on in Hollywood, there's no way that's going to be happening. No way that's going to be happening. So it sucks. I mean, everything's going to be affected. We're essentially going to get like a bunch of reality TV for like 6 months because there was no writers, no actors. So obviously reality TV is going to be what's going to be happening right there. Oh, Ben, doing some trolling as Ben does. Love you, Mr. Everts. Sell the Snyderverse to Universal or Apple or Amazon. There you go. I love that. I love that. What's going on, buddy? Always great to see you in the chat there, Ben. Love it, love it, love it. Love it, love it, love it. And I love it how Ben trolls, too. You know? Well, you know, Garza's not around. Somebody's got to do it, right? Someone's got to do it. But anyways, guys, again, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. Do all those things. Do all those things. Pretty please. All right. Hopefully you guys had a good weekend. I had a good weekend. I had a pretty kind of relaxing weekend, to be honest. But it just seems like no matter what, I'm always like doing something. Like a couple of friends of mine, they hit me up like the day before to be like, hey, we're going to go to a winery, and I hadn't seen them in forever, you know. I haven't seen them since their wedding reception, so I was like, all right, I guess I'm going to drive out and go sip some wine with some friends, and it was awesome, actually. It was a cool little winery, nice views, good wine, good food, too. My God. Great food, fantastic food. But yeah, other than that, I was trying to catch up on watching things. I finally watched No One Will Save You, that alien movie, the alien type movie that was on Hulu that everybody was talking about a few weeks ago. Finally watched that. Interesting movie. I mean, if you like alien type movies where they're, you know, where I mean, this one's not like an alien invasion movie, even though it kind of is, but it's just, obviously it's one perspective of this girl that lives at this house that's within like the family, and then of course, yeah, aliens try to abduct her. It's a very interesting movie because there's literally like there's probably what 6 lines of dialogue, 4 lines of dialogue in the whole movie. The whole movie is just her trying to figure out this situation and not get abducted by aliens, kind of thing. So very interesting movie. I liked it. I liked it actually. I liked it a lot. You know, maybe not like everything, but there were some things where I was like, okay, but you know, I know the VFX are not the greatest, but it's still a pretty damn decent movie. Like, and I've been wanting to watch that for a while now. So finally watched that, caught up on Loki. Let me just say something about Loki before we dive into everything. Now, obviously, we're going to be talking about MCU stuff. And last week, we talked about how the MCU television has been suffering. And we know why now, because obviously they kind of revealed that things were not going good when it came to the MCU and television. The Marvel television was just not working. It started off strong with WandaVision, but WandaVision you can't just keep doing. WandaVision was absolutely a one-off, and it worked, even though, you know, the end, you know, the finale was kind of iffy, but the whole show basically worked. And then when it came to season 1 of Loki, everybody thought that worked too. And then just going in, and I finally watched the first 2 episodes of season 2. This is what's working. This is what's working when it comes to Marvel television. I love Loki. It's great. Probably love it more than season 1 of WandaVision, or the only season of WandaVision. I'm just saying. I like where this is going. They're when it comes to, I mean, the biggest thing that people are complaining about when it comes to the MCU is all the multiverse stuff. But I think that Loki is really handling the multiverse stuff very well. It really, I was watching last night going, this show, I mean, I think season 2 is going to be better than season 1. It just seems like this is what is working. This is top tier. This is top tier, you know? When it comes to Marvel television, and you can't get rid of Tom Hiddleston. He's too likable, even though, and I love the development, and I've seen people, of course, push back on this, which is weird. I don't understand why people push back on it, but it's the fact that we have Loki, who showed up, of course, in the first Thor movie. We know his backstory, and then, of course, he was the big baddie in the first Avengers movie. The fact that he's gone to a good guy sense, you know, not fully a good guy. He's still going to be mischievous, of course. It's still Loki. But the fact that the development from where he was to where he is now, it's great. It's a great arc. It's just a fantastic arc. And I don't care what anybody says. Nobody can convince me otherwise. Loki is top tier when it comes to what's going on in the MCU. And, you know, they've been struggling with television, and let's face it, we've been seeing the struggles, but at least Loki is still putting out some good things. And the first 2 episodes of season 2 were absolutely fantastic in my eyes. Absolutely fantastic in my eyes. So, all right. I think, do I see Mama Film Junkie there? Hi, Mom. Mama Film Junkie just recently went on a trip, so she's back and just good, and everything's great when it comes to that. So, all right, let's see. Loki is the face of the multiverse. Yeah, exactly. At this point, Loki really should be. Yeah, I know, and that's what's got right. You know, that's probably what's going to happen. And of course, we're going to talk about what Kevin Feige said when it came to how they were going to approach the new Avengers. But I wouldn't be surprised with the reaction to what's going on with Loki that he would end up being like, hey, maybe make him the leader of the Avengers. I know, like, the big time comic book enthusiasts will hate it, but this is what is working right now when it comes to live action in the MCU. It is what is working. It really is. So, God. Anyways, all right, let's get to the tweets, huh? Let's get to some of these tweets right here. All right, let's see. We're going to start off with something. Let's see. Let me make sure I got everything. All right, we got everything listed here. Okay, cool. Oh, there's one thing I don't have up right now that I forgot to pull up, but I'll find it. I'll find it because it has to do with Rebel Moon. So, but we're gonna start off right now. You know, Martin Scorsese. Let's face it, Martin Scorsese, and we love the fact that obviously his movie Killers of the Flower Moon is coming out, and guess what? Look at this. So even though it's Apple TV, Killers of the Flower Moon will be the largest theatrical release of Martin Scorsese's career, debuting in over 3,500 theaters right here. So, I mean, they're pushing this thing, even though it's Apple TV, right? Am I wrong about that? Yeah, it is Apple. Yeah, I see Eric Davis here. Probably the largest theatrical release for Apple too, and maybe for any film made by a streamer. So this is good. This is good, and this is why it's like, hey, why, Netflix, what the hell? But this is a good thing. The fact that obviously when you have Martin Scorsese, you're going to give him you're going to give him a theatrical release. But I think a lot of us probably thought it was going to be like a week. It was going to be like a week or something like that. Like they did with The Irishman. Netflix did a week when it came to theatrical for The Irishman. Seems like Apple is like, you know what? We're going to give you 3,500 theaters plus. So this is really good. This is really good right here. We'll see what happens with Rebel Moon, though. Hopefully that will also get that, too. Okay, how are we feeling about this, boys and girls? How are we feeling about a possible Channing Tatum as Hal Jordan in James Gunn's The DCU? Talk amongst yourselves. Yes. I thought about this when I saw this, and I saw this rumor. Obviously, it's not translated. It's in Spanish, but of course, this is coming from John Roca and his live stream that he does, and he basically revealed that they're looking at Channing Tatum as Hal Jordan, and I quote tweeted myself. I went, okay, how is everybody feeling about this? Some people were down, some people were not. Somebody actually responded like, yeah, it'd be cool, but as long as he has hair. And I'm just kind of going like, okay, you're just going by this image right here. Yeah, he has a shaved head right here, but Channing Tatum has, when he could grow his hair out, I think it'll be fine. He has a good thick head of hair, so you don't have to worry about that. But him as Hal Jordan, and I was like, I'm like, not my first choice. Not my first choice. For sure. I think Rebecca from Supergirl Radio, she said he'd be a good guy Gardner, but, obviously we already have that slot filled when it comes to him. But, yeah, I'm like, Channing Tatum has the superhero look. He definitely has the superhero look, and naturally it's like, okay, why hasn't this guy been in a superhero movie? He, obviously he was supposed to be, what's his name in the X-Men? Totally drawn a blank now. Can't even remember the name. But, yeah, why am I just like drawing a blank? Somebody help me out with that. My brain just shuts off sometimes when I'm like, my mouth just moving. But what's his name? Cards and the staff and Jesus, somebody help me out with this. But I know James Marsden. Yeah, hold on a sec. Let's see. Do I got that up? Gambit, thank you. Jesus Christ. Yes, Gambit. My God. Totally was just like, what's the name? And apparently he might be showing up at Deadpool 3 as, a joke for that, but who knows? Who knows if that's going to be the case? But, yeah, how are we feeling about it? No? Okay, Axel says no. Ryan says, I don't mind. Let's see, who else? Who's going to play Lex Luthor and Superman? Yeah, that's still up in the air. Well, the way he looks right there, maybe Channing Tatum will. Recently today, Warner Brothers are preventing James Gunn from having total control of the new DCU, in which WB finally stand up to James Gunn according... What? Okay. Recently today? What the hell are you talking about? I don't even know what you're talking about. And then, of course, we have Fabian right here. Hashtag restore the Snyderverse. Hashtag fire James Gunn. Hashtag boycott Superman Legacy. Hashtag make Man of Steel 2 with Cavill. Oh, he's added more hashtags. All right. Well, this is the last time. Let's see. Should I? Maybe I should remove him, but I don't know. I don't really care. It doesn't even matter because, again... some of these guys with their freaking hashtags are absolutely ridiculous. So he added more. I love that. Hashtag make Man of Steel 2 with Cavill. Oh, look at that. He deleted it. Oh, no. Hard Boiled did. Why'd you do that? You didn't have to delete it. Come on, man. Yeah, Eric, you don't have to, like, delete that. But I just think it's funny because it's like hashtags are dumb. I had, you know, somebody, was it this weekend or was it the previous weekend? I can't remember. But, yeah, I think it was this weekend. Again, it's like the hashtags. I mean, Restore the Snyderverse was it was good for a bit, like right after Zack Snyder's Justice League came out. But now it's like there's no way that that's going to happen. And then, of course, fire James Gunn. That's not going to happen either. I mean, unless, you know, it does end up, like, miraculously Universal ends up buying Warner Brothers. Maybe then it would happen. The news is about WB preventing James Gunn came from the direct article that happened recently. They're preventing James Gunn to do his thing? What the hell? I don't even know. Ah, interesting. See? There's stuff like that. I'm like, what the hell? Is this from DCU Direct? Okay. Interesting. But yeah, the hashtags just are just, Jesus Christ. I mean, I literally had somebody over the weekend or like last week say like, well, if you think fire James Gunn and hashtag bring back Zack Snyder are bad, why did I use release the Snyder Cut hashtag? As if those two hashtags were exactly the same. This is the logic that these guys have. That's the thing. They have this kind of logic of like, oh yeah, fire James Gunn and bring back Zack Snyder. The same kind of hashtags as release the Snyder Cut. Fuck right off with that shit. It was just, I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, you actually are saying that those are the same kind of hashtags? It's like release the Snyder Cut was a battle cry to release unfinished work and with everything that happened with Zack, and we succeeded. Okay? Now you have a hashtag where you want somebody to be fired, who is a friend of Zack Snyder, by the way, and then you want Zack Snyder to come back into the madness that is Warner Brothers right now when he's building new shit. You're a selfish piece of shit if you're using these hashtags, okay? So Fabian out there, if you're still watching, you're a selfish piece of shit. Stop it, okay? It's all in shambles. Don't bring anybody back that we like into the madness. Let them just try the new shit and see if it works. Stop being selfish. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, so there's that. But then speaking of the Snyderverse, I had to bring up this art from Rudy AO. He just makes excellent work right here. So here's a shot of Batfleck right here on top of a gargoyle and bats and everything like that around him. Beautiful. Chef's kiss. Chef's kiss when it comes to that. Chef's kiss. See, this is the kind of stuff that I love when we could still represent the Snyderverse in art. That's the thing. You could continue. You could even make stories. You could write stories. You could make art that has to do with the Snyderverse. 100%. Without using stupid fucking hashtags. I like it. I like it. And then I like this too. Something heartwarming right here. Keanu Reeves, best man in the world. You know, he's just a saint. And Keanu Reeves just decided to stop and play catch with a football. So we got Johnny Utah or Shane Falco right here because he was in. You know, I like to use Johnny Utah because, you know, Point Break, he was like an ex-football star and everything, so they talk about that. But then, of course, yeah, there's Shane Falco, of course, when it came to the replacements. But, yeah, we got Keanu Reeves just being awesome, just being awesome right here. You know, playing catch. And I love how the security team is around, just like making sure. But, I mean, this is just something, all right. Videos. It's just awesome. Just awesome. I love that. I want Zach to finish the JL stories and then he can move on. I want Zach to make this passion project right now, Antonio, and you should too. And he's going to be doing that probably for the next 5 years. So yes, we might actually, like I've said 1,000 times, and I know you've probably heard it 1,000 times, is maybe we'll get it in some form. It's not going to be live action, okay? So if you want him to finish the stories, hopefully it could be like maybe in comic book or maybe in animated. So Zach wants to do what he's doing now, okay? And you better believe that he is probably happy that he's not in the madness of what's happening right now with WB and DC Studios. Got to get that out of your head, Antonio, all right? If you're truly a Zack Snyder fan, you want him to do what he's doing now, and he will probably be doing it for the next 5 years or so. Original content. That's what's good. That's what we want. Okay, but maybe eventually they'll do some kind of run or something like that. Something like that where he can finish it. In James Wan, we trust. Gargoyles fans, that's right. I wasn't big on Gargoyles. I did watch the cartoon, but I didn't dive into it as much as some people. I know Scott McClellan, he's like big on Gargoyles. I know some other mutuals that I have online that really love the old cartoon. It's great. It's great. And everybody's kind of wondering, there's been talks about possibly doing a live action version. Of course, there'll probably be a lot of makeup and CGI and whatever the hell. But yeah, according to the Hollywood Reporter, a live action Gargoyles series is in the works at Disney Plus. Yeah, it sucks that it's Disney Plus, but what can you do? Gary Dauberman and James Wan will develop the series. But again, I just see James Wan right here and I go, yes, all right. You better let James Wan do what James Wan can do. He can, obviously, he's going to try to be, it's James Wan. He's going to add some horror elements to it. 100%. It's James Wan. So I'm like, all right, please, let him cook a little bit when it comes to this. Obviously, this series is not going to be rated R. It's on Disney Plus. They'll try to, but a PG-13, make it at least like a PG-13, okay? At least make it do that. But at the same time, I do get worried because it is Disney and it is Disney Plus. So I am a little bit worried that a few months from now, we're going to hear that this show has now been dropped. It's not going to happen. James Wan walks away. James Wan's been having a tough couple of years when it comes to at least what's happening with WBD and Aquaman 2. So obviously this is going to be his production company that's doing it, but hopefully this can actually be something pretty good. And again, James Wan, we trust. I trust that guy. He's one of my favorite filmmakers, one of my favorite, directors right now. So let's see. Don't love the choice of the writer and director because he wrote The Nun. Oh, is that the guy who wrote The Nun and the Annabelle movies? Okay. Well, James Wan trusts him. Nothing wrong with that, I guess. I wasn't a fan of the Nun movies for sure. Was not a fan of the Nun movies, but I didn't even see the Nun Part 2. I thought the first one was like, so yeah. Let's see. I want that as well, just after the Netflix movies are done. Okay, so again, Antonio, you expect, so Zack Snyder is going to build a whole universe and spin-offs and everything with Rebel Moon, and then he's going to go to Warner Brothers while they're doing their universe thing and do two very expensive Justice League movies and Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck, and everybody's just going to come back. That's where I just go, let it go. It's just, maybe he would come back and do something. But again, if we're ever going to see a continuation of his Justice League story, it's not going to be live action. It would have to be either animation or comic book form. You gotta get that in your head, man. Gotta get that in your head. Let's see what else we got. I like Zack and Gunn. I just want this anger to be over so Zack does those movies at least. Some people are finally happy. Well, I'm just saying. I thought his deal with Universal could never work. What? Okay. Anyways, you gotta let it go. Okay. Let's see. And then there was speaking of Zack Snyder. Let me find. I totally just meant to bring up some things that were shown today when it came to some posters. At least when it came to Rebel Moon. It's pretty interesting. A lot of people were talking about them, but it's pretty cool. If you guys, obviously Rebel Moon's coming out. I'm not sure exactly what this is, but I saw the Rebel Moon Twitter handles showing off some of these posters and 3D posters and even some merch right here. So if you actually go to this, it's Pyramid International Collections Rebel Moon. And in a universe corrupt, obviously they give a little synopsis, but they got like all this right here that we're like being shown. So some more Rebel Moon craziness right here. I don't know if these are actually legit or what, but this was pretty cool right here. This 3D poster, look at that, of Jimmy. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, I got to get some Rebel Moon merch too. I didn't gather them, but looks pretty cool. Looks pretty cool. So yeah, some more stuff right there. Again, I'm not exactly sure, like when it comes to how legit all that stuff is, but yeah, there it is. There's some Rebel Moon stuff, and then there was another thing too. Sorry, let me find it here. It's pretty funny. This next thing, if I can find it. Nope, come on, where are you at? There it is. This is pretty cool right here, I thought, as well. Here we go. Is it pretty crazy that a guy who played Batman is going to receive the first ever Gotham visionary icon and creator tribute? What? Look at that. Pretty crazy. He's gonna get at this year's Gotham Awards. Ben Affleck's gonna get the first ever Gotham visionary icon and creator tribute. That's pretty good. Good job, Ben. Good job, Ben. Pretty crazy. So it's just kind of funny because a lot of people are, of course, making the joke that yeah, Batman himself is receiving a Gotham Award, but it just kind of shows you right there. It's like, hey, yeah, Ben Affleck, he's great. He's fantastic. I'm going to open up the article right here, but yes. Ben Affleck's heir to receive the inaugural visionary icon and creator tribute right there. So yes, his and anybody who hasn't seen Air, please do yourself a favor. It's great, both gripping and hilarious. Air is a deeply refreshing reminder to the film industry that audiences respond to smart, original narratives, said Jeffrey Sharp, executive producer of the Gotham Film and Media Institute. By capturing the dramatic story behind the most monumental partnership in the history of sports making, the film highlights the power of knowing your worth and using that knowledge to take the right risks. We are privileged to honor both the story behind a legend and the Air team who brought that story to life with the visionary icon and creator tribute. Good job, Ben. Good job. You know, Ben Affleck, also one of my favorite directors working right now because he's great. And again, it's like to star in I'm not gonna like go into it. Not gonna go into it, but you know. You guys know where I was going with that, right? I mean, come on. It's all right. It's fine. But yeah, congratulations, Ben. Congratulations. All right. What are we talking about here? What are you guys talking about? James Vaughn deal that was reported earlier this year that he could only work for Universal. Did I freeze? Oh, no. I think I froze. Oh, there we go. Is it back? Uh-oh. What the hell? Don't do it. Don't do it. I think I'm back. Sorry if... Oh, no. Did it disconnect? Oh, no. Should be good. Oh, no. Don't tell me it ended. All right, we're good. We're good. I gotta love it. Not sure what happened there. We had a little glitch in the Matrix. Is it working? Okay, I think we're good. Ugh. Stupid. Stupid. Let's see. I'm talking James Wan deal. Yeah, I don't remember that. It would be a shame if the actors of Rebel Moon cannot... Yeah, can't... Yeah, exactly. Where's Jose? Oh, yeah, Jose's not here, huh? Okay, we're good. We're good. All right, I think we're good. Anyways, sorry about that. Started tripping out right there. So, all right. let's go ahead and talk about the main topic then, now that everything looks to be good. Hopefully it should be good, but let's talk some rumors. All right, how we feeling about this? You guys know which rumor I'm talking about when it comes to Superman Legacy casting. Obviously, we know that James Gunn did respond to a fan on whatever social media that he is currently on right now, saying that yes, as soon as the actors' strike does end, they will be releasing more Superman Legacy castings, and a rumor from Mr. Daniel RBK is suggesting that yes, Mr. Kurt Russell will have a cameo in Superman Legacy and most likely be in Jor-El. How are we feeling about that? You guys kind of know, if you follow me on Twitter, you guys know that a little too on the nose. I think it's just a little too on the nose when it comes to him, because obviously the first thing I think about is, if I hear about Kurt Russell being Jor-El, is the fact that he was Ego in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Just kind of like, I'm not saying it's exactly the same thing, because obviously it's not the same kind of character, but it is a father of the main character of the movie. And even there's some scenes in there, I mean, and let's face it, when it came to him explaining things to Star-Lord, hey, who else did not get Man of Steel vibes? And I'm not going to be one of those people like, oh my God, James Gunn ripped it off. But yeah, there was some similarities when it came to him explaining to Star-Lord. It was like Jor-El, Russell Crowe's Jor-El explaining it to Cavill's Superman, or Clark, when they were on the ship, the scout ship. It's just kind of reminding me a little bit of the same. But yeah, to me, little too on the nose, but it's Kurt Russell. And if it does happen, fine. And I saw somebody earlier in the chat say, would be kind of cool if he was more of a Jonathan Kent as opposed to a Jor-El. And I'm like, yeah, that would be cool. Yeah. Because that wouldn't be so on the nose. Make him Jonathan Kent. And then, of course, you kind of wonder, like, what? Is Jonathan Kent going to have the heart attack? Is he going to be around? Are they going to keep him this time around? Is he going to be around? That's what I wondered, too. That's another question I have when it comes to at least Jonathan Kent in the DCU. Is he going to be around? I liked it when it came to Lois and Clark, where obviously both parents were still around, and they'd call him on the phone and everything. I always liked those scenes. So I'm kind of wondering if we're going to get that here, or is there going to be some kind of death when it comes to Jonathan Kent? And maybe, who knows? Who knows? But how are we feeling about this? How are we feeling about Kurt Russell? Funny how you were trying to sing Let It Go and ended up getting, oh, yeah, I got more Frozen. Yeah, I got more Frozen, right? Like I said, Kurt's, yeah, exactly. Rachel Zegler. Okay, nice one. Funny one, Axel. So, but yeah, so that, again, I'd be okay with it, but it just feels like it's a little too on the nose. A little too on the nose. But I guess, we'll find out soon, hopefully. Instead of Jor-El, perhaps they could give Kurt Russell an eye patch and call him Snake Plissken. He could be Dido, or whatever the hell his name is, that pirate-looking dude. Yeah, no, I don't know. Yeah, they even talked about him doing another Escape from whatever and Snake Plissken. That would be pretty sweet. Kurt Russell should do one more Snake Plissken. Make it a trilogy. Make it a trilogy. Escape from New York, Escape from LA, and then just call the last one. It'd be like Old Man Snake Plissken. That would be pretty sweet, to be honest. I like what you have to say right there. One bad nomad, I should say. But then, of course, we have Deadpool 3, and we have some interesting developments when it comes to Deadpool 3. Oh boy, do we have some interesting developments. So basically, a lot of, scoopers got kind of fooled and trying to say like, oh yeah, this is things that we, that's been heard about and everything like that. But we had somebody right here. And this, of course, this is the Marvel Studios Spoilers Reddit that basically had this post right here that was showing this, I guess you could say tweet, or I don't know if this could be one of the other ones, could be threads, I don't know. But it says, this is my final leak ever. Just wanted to correct something I said. It appears that Alex from CC was right. The plan was for Mephisto, which of course that's been talked about since WandaVision, to buy the Avengers Tower. Also, Universe 838 was part of Deadpool 3's plot, but they changed all of it in rewrites, so I guess his intel was just outdated. There was kind of like something when it came to Universe 838 and how that was supposed to be part of the story. There was going to be Deadpool 3 was going to be like, oh yeah, we're going to like talk about the outcome of what happened in Multiverse of Madness. And we're going to do all that. And then all of a sudden they say like, oh yeah, but there was rewrites and they completely omitted it. Well, that was a bullshit thing right here, because now we have a confession. I got another confession to make. Yeah, that's right. Confession. The Deadpool 838 rumors are fake. I know, because I made them up. So here we go. Months ago, during the strike and the height of the drought of news, I got bored and decided to make in my view, obviously fake scoop for fun. It was a total joke. I sourced it as being from 4chan. It wasn't. I didn't even upload it there to pretend sourcing it. I just typed it in and loaded it up. I figured at most it would be a day of, lol, it's clearly fake. It wasn't even the regular subreddit because that was shut down due to the Quantum Mania script leak. That was a post, of course, he has right there. Now, to me, and at the board at the time, it was just a laugh. Clearly fake, not worth anyone's time, but a funny read. Until one strange thing happened. One random insignificant detail, almost immediately after the post was made, way too soon for them to have actually seen it, was supported by, "Can we get some toast?" We know who that is. That Matthew McFadden's character was a TVA agent named Paradox, and then it exploded. And I cannot stress this enough, I have no inside intel. Every word of it was fake and made up by me. I didn't even plan to have it listed as Paradox, or originally it was Ouroboros. I guess if that's how you say it. Ooh, well, I was looking at the game, sorry. Till I remembered he was already in Loki, played by someone else. There's even a trace of it still in there. Why would Wade have a hard time pronouncing Paradox in the name with the nickname Bob? Because that's a much more reasonable nickname for a guy named Ouroboros. I'm probably saying it gives me a little marble mouth. So instead, I selected the name immediately below his, and then of course in the Marvel Wiki, and it's like Mr. Paradox. So there was also that part of it too. And then suddenly Alex Perez starts going on and on about how big the Scarlet Witch's role is, and 838 and stuff from that post, and none of it is true. There was another similar 4chan post I shared later on the similar details, which was not made by me and actually from 4chan, but I still know it's fake because it made off of my total bullshit post. None of that shit happens in the movie. 838 being involved in any capacity is completely made up fiction by me. No Wanda, no Jimmy Woo, no nothing. It's all total bullshit. I figured I'd say this now since I've started to see, well, the 838 has been removed during the strike. That was the thing that we read earlier, was before they were talking about the 838, and then all of a sudden they're saying like, oh yeah, it's been removed now. They removed it during the strike. Rewrites, whatever the hell. I saw it too, and I was like, huh, interesting. So we were actually going to see more like the outcome, and they were going to show up, and we were going to see again Mr. John Krasinski, Reed Richards, like spaghetti all over the place and blood and all the other fuckers dead. What's his name dead? Everybody dead. And I was like, but they removed that. That would have been it. And I was like, well, that would have been kind of interesting, but yep, all bullshit, everybody. Complete bullshit. And this is one of those things, man. I tell you what, anybody can make shit up. Anybody can make shit up, and people do absolutely make shit up. And then sometimes it captures something, and then some of these scoopers, when they are, of course, need something to boost their numbers, because obviously now they want to boost their numbers, especially since they can get paid by Twitter now, or X, or whatever the hell you want to call it. So naturally, they're like, all right, we got to do something. But I mean, this is just scooping 101 is funny, because yes, you can make up something, and if you actually put some thought into it, it could, like wildfire, it could just spread. It's absolutely fucking funny, like how this stuff can happen. But yes, so basically, to summarize what happened here is that this guy right here, this confession, talking about Deadpool and 838 with Wanda in it and all this stuff, they were talking about, yes, this was going to happen. We're going to see what was going to be happening when it came to the outcome of Multiverse of Madness. And then all of a sudden, when it came to the writer's strike, they removed it. Oh, Kevin Feige strikes again. What is he doing? Oh, you know? And then, of course, now you got all these reports saying, oh, it was removed. So another scoop. So it was like a scoop, and then another scoop was brewed from the fake scoop. And here we are. And you got to love it. Can we get some toast? No. Can we get some legit fucking information? Right? Jesus. And this shit's just going to keep happening. I mean, it's hard nowadays to know what's bullshit and what's not. Not just, I mean, even with the normal news, like all the shit that's happening with, you know, out in the world when it comes to politics. And of course, there's like the craziness that's happening, you know, in the Middle East. And when it comes to, when it comes to what's happening, you know, in Palestine and Israel and everything like that, it's like, it's very interesting. Like, I don't know how people could take a side when all we're seeing is like, wait, is that real? Is that real? I mean, it's way worse, of course, when it comes to entertainment, because it's like, is that real? Is that real? Who knows what's real? But don't believe everything you have to. Don't believe everything you read, okay? You just can't do that. You just can't do that. So, anyways, so there you go. So that's what is happening. So we possibly might have a Kurt Russell Jor-El, and then when it comes to the 838, when it comes to that universe, that's not going to be represented. It never was going to be represented in Deadpool 3. So don't even think that we're going to see like John Krasinski again or anything like that, or see the aftermath of any of Multiverse of Madness. All right. Mr. Kevin Feige. All right. So what's going on with Kevin Feige? Well, he's been talking. He's been doing some talking. And then, of course, a couple of days ago, this article right here from Variety showed up. And he talks about, of course, the future of the MCU and a lot of things. And barely scratching the surface, which, interesting choice of words there. Kev. Here's the article right here. We've barely scratched the surface, Kevin Feige reflects on Marvel Studios' impact since Iron Man. Oh, barely scratched the surface? You don't even have Iron Man anymore. How was that barely scratching the surface? So, yikes. Oy. Anyways, Disney purchase of Marvel opened the door to live-action blockbusters, including 2019's Avengers Endgame, the second highest-grossing film ever. And while some may bemoan superhero saturation, it's important to remember that a risk is to build a cinematic universe around comic book characters. When Iron Man, the first film from Marvel Studios, premiered. 15 years, 31 movies, 25 TV shows, and nearly $30 billion later, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has been often imitated, yet none have proven as successful. You hear that, Gunn? Jimmy Guns? They're calling you out. No, they're not. They're just saying like nothing's been as successful, which is true. Nothing has been as. From the start, it's been guided by Kevin Feige, CCO of Marvel Entertainment and president of Marvel Studios, whose first producer credit was an associate producer on 2000's X-Men, and who is now coming full circle by bringing Hugh Jackman's Wolverine back in the fold with next year's Deadpool 3. Even after all this time, Kevin Feige says he remains as enthusiastic as the day he started. Here we got some quotes from Kev Feige, Kevy Pants. I feel so lucky that I get to do this job. Every costume fitting, when we see the actors transform for the first time, there's always this moment of, ah. It's so incredible to take these characters and bring them to life on screen. Makes sense. The franchise was restarted. The franchise has restarted the careers of Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans. I think Chris Evans, no. It started his career, I would say. Well, I guess because he was in Fantastic Four. And then, of course, talking about everybody else. We've had a tradition at Marvel Studios that started with the very first Iron Man. For every new release, the cast, producers, director, and I will drop in on an opening night showing and watch the movie with fans. I like this. I like this right here. Feeling the excitement in the theater, hearing cheers or gasps from the audience is always a reminder of what these movies and characters mean to fans. Being there on opening night for Avengers Endgame, hearing the crowds, is something I'll never forget. Also, the feedback we received after Black Panther came out, never in my wildest dreams did I think it would have the kind of impact it did. So Dan, talking about that. So yeah. Yikes. So yeah, talking about all that. But that's not it. That's not all that Kevy Pants talked about, too, when it came to everything. That was just the main article right there and talking about that. But he does, like, again, the whole thing was like you barely scratched the surface. But I'm like, I think you scratched the surface a lot. I mean, again, you went through your whole Iron Man. Now he's dead. You have your Steve Rogers Captain America. Now he's not there anymore. So I think you've scratched the surface pretty well there, Kev. Not to mention you had the Incredible Hulk do this crazy little thing, and now he's, he's Smart Hulk, and we all love that, right? Right? We all love Smart Hulk. Smart Hulk. Okay. Yeah, I would say you definitely have scratched the surface. But then he also talked about there was apparently some podcast or whatever the heck, it was being spread around this weekend that he actually talked about how Secret Wars is going to act as a soft reboot for the MCU. Now, we've been talking about rebooting the MCU for a little bit. I think they should do a reboot before they bring in X-Men and Fantastic Four. I think that would be the smart way to go. That way you have a Marvel Cinematic Universe that has Tony Stark and Steve Rogers and a T'Challa and a lot of the characters, while you also have your mutants and your Fantastic Four. I mean, I think a lot of us want to see Tony Stark and Reed Richards go back and forth with each other with some, Peter Parker right there as well. I don't know. We just want to see something like that. So I think that's always been the smart thing to do. Not to mention you can have a Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver back-esque in their way that they should be, and you can have that tie-in, all that stuff. I mean, I just think that's the smart way to go. So yeah, he definitely, so there was that. And what else was there? There was some other things I wanted to talk about too that he even said. Hold on, let me bring this up right here. Let me bring this up right here. Okay, so there's some other things right here. But yeah, so basically saying that there was like the somewhat reboot. Oh yeah, and this was also funny too. This one made me laugh right here because apparently Marvel Studios reportedly thought they put out a banger when it came to Ant-Man 3, of course, Quantumania, and were shocked when it was panned by critics. I mean, Ant-Man is a likable character. Paul Rudd, love him. Love Paul Rudd. Loved the first Ant-Man movie. Second one didn't like really at all because they made him like a big dummy. And then, of course, they were like, all right, well, let's do this, and we're going to set up the new big baddie, which, of course, is Kang, which was already teasing Loki, and it just fell flat. And then it was kind of like, well, you had Kang, he's supposed to be the new baddie, but then you had Ant-Man defeat him, kind of, in a way. I mean, I know some people, when I posted that, people were like, yeah, it wasn't just Ant-Man, it was like Hank Pym. But okay, I get it. But it's like you had this group of people that are, a family that are just technically one character. I mean, of course, there's the Wasp, but they're all in the same group together. And it's like, well, if they're going to have Avengers take on Kang, it seems like it might be easy if they already took out. But then at the same time, you got the whole multiverse element of it. But it is just kind of funny that it was mentioned right there that it was like, oh, they thought that was going to be a real winner. Okay, interesting, very interesting. And then the biggest thing that was also reported when it came to Kevin Feige. Tried to find a source, but it was mainly just a tweet that I saw. I'm not sure it's true, but it actually sounds like it's true. Is the fact that getting a certified fresh Rotten Tomato score is reportedly very important to Kevin Feige. And we already, we saw that report earlier this year that some fuckery was happening when it came to Rotten Tomatoes and, paying critics and all that. And we've always suspected that something was happening when it came to Marvel Studios and making sure to sway these critics. And it's not, I mean, and paying off a critic is not just like, let me get your Venmo, well, or let me just send you an invoice or something. It's not just that. Paying off critics is also just sending them cool shit, as in cool merchandise shit. 100%. I mean, let's face it, we see that around there. We see people that, that are on websites or have YouTube channels, they get sent some really cool toys, they review them, and then, of course, that might sway their review to be a little bit more positive than it actually is. I'm just saying, It's very easy to sway like an influencer nowadays with sparkly looking toys. But yeah, so it was also reported with that, and I think that was pretty much it when it came to things. When it came to Kevin Feige, that's pretty much all I was kind of seeing out there. But yeah, Kevy Pants, Kevy Pants. Feige's the real Darth Humpla. Yeah, he might be. Who knows? But yeah, so there you go. There you go, right there. Now we got box office. All right. I know all you guys went out to go see the Taylor Swift movie, right? Right? The Taylor Swift, the Eras tour, or whatever the hell. You guys all went to see it, right? You guys were singing along. You were dancing out into the crowd and everything like that. I know you were. Because, well, I mean, it seems like, a lot of people did, because it did make $92.8 million at the domestic box office. So, I mean, obviously there was nothing else new that came out. But, yeah. That's the one that made it. And then internationally, 123.5. It is pretty crazy. Taylor Swift. It's just pretty crazy what's going on. I still am disappointed, of course, about the creator. It cost $80 million to make. It hasn't even made that much money back yet. It's just ridiculous. It's like, ugh, just terrible. But one thing I did want to talk about, though, before, when it comes to the Taylor Swift thing, that a lot of people were complaining about, I saw it on my feed, was the fact that they actually had, people at the movie theaters were treating it like a concert. So you had young girls on the, just walking around the floor. They were holding it. They were dancing. They were screaming. They were doing all this kind of stuff. And just there was videos. I saw a slew of videos talking about that and people shitting on it. And my reaction to that is, sure, that sounds annoying as all hell, but you're going to see a Taylor Swift concert on the big screen. What do you expect's going to happen? Seriously. They have every right to do that. As long as it's fine and they're not fucking up the movie theater, there's nothing wrong with that. To me, in my eyes, I don't see anything wrong with them having a good time. Maybe they weren't able to go to a Taylor Swift concert, so this is the closest thing they get. So they're going to stand up, they're going to dance, they're going to sing loudly, they're going to do all kinds of stuff. Now, people in the next movie theater might be annoyed, and that's probably, sure, that could probably be annoying. But, hopefully they didn't hear too much of that. But I'm just saying, when people are complaining about that, it's like, yes, yeah, I can understand that being annoying. If they do that, if you go see, Killers of the Flower Moon and people start doing that, sure, that's annoying. Nobody should be standing up and being cheering and all this stuff like that. But if you're at a concert, movie theater setting, I mean, I remember when Bohemian Rhapsody came out, and a few of us went to go see another movie. I forgot which movie we saw, but then we saw that Bohemian Rhapsody was oh yeah, there's it's the last part of Bohemian Rhapsody. And they were doing the sing-along thing. So we just snuck into that movie theater and we were there for the last part, and we were singing all the Queen songs and everything like that. So yeah, don't complain. Don't complain if you bought a ticket to Taylor Swift, the Eras tour, and people were actually acting like it was a movie theater. Don't complain. I just say, yeah, I get it. Probably annoying, but hey, don't complain about that. Don't complain about that. It was just funny. I saw so many videos of people complaining about that. I was like, nah, they can't do that. Matthew Vaughn. All right, Matthew Vaughn, apparently, well, from what we heard, a few weeks ago, that he might actually have one of the DCU projects, and a lot of people are assuming that it's going to be The Authority. There was an article that came out that basically said that he couldn't direct the next James Bond movie because he has an obligation for the DCU. So a lot of us were thinking, okay, maybe he's just going to direct The Authority. Cool. I could see it. I think he would be a good choice when it comes to The Authority. Seems like right up his alley. But Matthew Vaughn has a lot of projects, a lot of things brewing up right now, and this is, of course, coming from New York Comic-Con, where he did some talking about future projects, and then one particular thing that was kind of just whoa, that's out of left field. Matthew Vaughn talks kick-ass reboot, why Argyle's author will become the J.K. Rowling of spy movies at NYCC. All right. So he also talked about Argyle, because obviously that's coming out, which, yes, regardless of how Henry Cavill's hair looks in the movie, I am intrigued on the story and the little twist that's part of the story. Matthew Vaughn revealed a kick-ass reboot is in the works. addresses challenges around working in the X-Men universe, and teased his upcoming spy thriller Argylle during his Saturday evening panel at New York Comic-Con. Vaughn appeared to talk about his library of work during the 45-minute panel, which ultimately dived into his experiences on several projects he did and didn't direct. The discussion was also full of project updates, including that he is working on a musical. Wow. Will return for, of course, Kingsman 3, which I like the Kingsman movies, next year, and has a new Kick-Ass with different characters in the works. Kick-Ass sort of changed people's perception of what a superhero film is at that time, or, was. So we'll be doing it again, so it's none of the characters from the other Kick-Ass, he said. We'd like to bring them back after the reboot. This reboot is just going off on a tangent that I can't really talk about now, but it's fun. Vaughn later spoke about previewed a clip of Argylle, his upcoming spy thriller starring Bryce Dallas Howard, Henry Cavill, Sam Rockwell, Dua Lipa, and more, at one point calling the process of breaking it a little odd. It was an odd time because when the book of Argylle arrived as manuscripts, there's all this weird shit online saying it's not real. It's a real book, but I couldn't get book one, he recalled. Breaking new IP, not many people will be bothered, but the studios are sort of leaning now that maybe you guys, the audience, do want original films. Yes! Yes, we do! Like the creator that people didn't go see. So he wanted to make it meta, and then, of course, how the Wizards of, went to J.K. Rowling in book 3, blah, blah, blah. He wants to do that. So talking about Argylle and Kick-Ass. And then it says right here, it was scary because then we couldn't get any distribution, all of that. Still continuing, talking about that. All right. Now this is where it gets a little spicy when it comes to X3 or X-Men 3, or what ended up being X-Men The Last Stand. I went into one of the executives' office and I saw an X3 script, and I immediately knew it was a lot fatter. I was like, what the hell is this draft? He went down, because he was actually going to do that before he, of course, did First Class. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, no, I'm the director. I'm worrying about this draft, he recalled. He wouldn't tell me, so I grabbed it literally, and it was like a crazy moment. Opened the first page, and it said, Africa storm. Kids dying of no water. She creates a thunderstorm and saves these children. Vaughn admitted he found it a pretty cool idea, but once he learned what was going to happen to the script, his relationship to the project soured. I went, what is this? They said, oh, it's Halle Berry's script. I went, okay, because she hasn't signed up yet, but this is what she wants it to be, and once she signs up, we'll throw it in the bin. I was like, wow, you're going to do that to an Oscar-winning actress who plays Storm? I'm out of here. So I quit at that point. That's right, guys. Fox made a fake script that had Storm saving people in Africa, children in Africa who needed water. They were going to send that script to her. Apparently, that's what happened. They sent the script to her, so then she would sign on, and then they threw it away. Oh, that is crazy. Gaslighting. Oh, my God. Shows you how shady these studios can get, And good on Matthew Vaughn. Anybody who doesn't like Matthew Vaughn, that should score some points with you with Matthew Vaughn. The fact that he saw that and said, fuck this, I'm out, and didn't do X3, and it went to, what's his name? Yeah, and ended up being one of the worst X-Men movies made, which is good, because if you hear this, and then, of course, Matthew Vaughn ended up coming back and doing First Class, which is one of the best X-Men movies ever made, right? But wow, shady. Absolutely shady, man. Pretty crazy that happened. But just kind of shows you just how shady these studios can get. Man, I'm wondering if like Halle Berry is ever gonna like talk about that too. If she heard about that, or you never know. I mean, of course you got to take it with a grain of salt. This is just Matthew Vaughn talking about this. Who knows? I mean, we know that Halle Berry is gonna be coming back as Storm in Deadpool 3. So maybe somebody will bring it up if they could. Obviously for the press junket, which hopefully that will happen. That would be interesting if they actually bring it up. Who knows? All right, guys, let's get to the questions. All right, let's see what you guys have to say over in the Twitter world. All right, here we go. All right, send in the questions. We got Eric right here. Hey, Dave, you repeatedly said it looks like Zaslav's CEO future is in serious peril, but how about Iger? Yep, he's got a foot out the door just as well. How soon do you see him getting the boot, or do you? Yeah, he's got his foot out the door too. They're both like in the same category. Or I guess you could say just book their foot's out the door. Adrian, I feel like we do not need a reboot to the MCU yet. I believe there's a lot more storytelling yet to tell. Hopefully they don't reboot it, but what do you think, Dave? Well, I've already said it. I think after Secret Wars, they should, before they bring in Fantastic Four and the mutants. Andrew, I truly expect the worst out of James Gunn alongside with his new DCU. Casting Kurt as Jor-El is the most laziest cast ever. Fire James Gunn. So we got another, person right here. I love the hyperbole, the laziest casting ever. Explain yourself. I mean, it's Kurt Russell still. I think it's too on the nose when it comes to ego, but the laziest cast ever? Ugh, God. The hyperbole that I get for people that absolutely hate James Gunn is ridiculous. And, of course, they want him fired, and they probably want his dog to get kicked. I don't know. It's just deja vu for when we when it came to Zack Snyder back in 2015, 2016. It's crazy. Darkness Under the Wind, Dave. Question number 1: should Kurt Russell be in Superman Legacy as Jor-El? Would you want to see more than just one scene of Superman communicating with the Hulk? Yeah, I'd actually prefer him. Yeah, I actually like the idea of him being Jonathan Kent again, to be honest. Let's see. Daria said, question number 2. If Deadpool 3 is somehow a flop or the story is bad, do you think the multiverse saga is even in more trouble? I mean, yeah, but I don't see it being a flop. There's no possibility it's going to be a flop. Question number 3. Who do you believe deserves a show or movie the most in the DCU? Deathstroke or Deadshot? I think Deathstroke. Devon Wooter, Dave, did you hear that Best Buy will not allow people to buy their movies anymore? Are you surprised? No, I know they're getting rid of physical media. Well, let's face it. I mean, Best Buy and Circuit City used to be my go-to for physical media. But of course, I adapted to the digital media. I want to go back to the physical media. I'm going to go back to the physical media, but I mean, it does make sense that they're doing it because they probably look at it as they're not selling anything. So I guess you're right about Zack Snyder and Rick and Morty movie. Now you become a celebrity now. And do you think Marvel Studios will get backlash for reboot? Yeah, of course there would be backlash. And thank you for saying that I'm not really a celebrity, but hey, it was pretty cool. Mr. Nobody, hey Dave, I understand why a lot of people are upset with the MCU now. I haven't seen the last few films and TV shows. I like the characters, but I just don't see the point. Is there still hope, or is it too late? I feel like the 3 phases were a one-hit wonder, and now it's gone. I mean, it might be, but they just got to rebuild it again. I mean, at one point it was going to be, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, and Spider-Man. They were going to be the new Trinity, I guess you could say, of it. Kevin, glad you and Scott are doing a new Batman Superman Adventures for the DC animated stream. For me, it's the best season of BTAS for better stories and better redesigns, including the Joker. Yeah, we didn't really like how the Joker was redesigned. We didn't like that. If you watched the stream last night, we definitely we're not a fan of how the Joker looked. We're okay now when it came to other redesigns, but when it came to the Joker, not so much. Not so much. Let's see. Kings of Movies Real of the creator. The audience dancers have been hypnotized by Midsummer. Nice. Kurt Russell has swag. He does. I'm going to draw Nightwing and Starfire doing something. All right. I don't know if anybody wants to see that. It sounds like you're... Droga, are you drawing some naughty shit? Is that what's happening? Movie stop is where... Okay. Anyways, guys. All right. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. That's not it. That's not the right button. Where's that? Or it didn't work. What the... Oh, you know why? That's why I had it on mute. Mess up. Anyways, guys, subscribe to the channel. All right, now that's not working. Okay. I don't know. My tweet deck's not on my stream. There it is. Jesus. There you go. Subscribe. Follow me. Support the channel by Patreon and try to put as much stuff on there. Of course, become a member. If you want to become a member, every Wednesday stream is just a members-only stream. So you can pick my brain, a little more personal. So if you want to join that and support the channel by doing that, perfectly fine. But yeah, follow me on all the other sock meds, trying to post on everything more as much as possible. So yeah, members, I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Of course, there'll be videos throughout the week. And then, of course, I'll see you guys on Friday for the Vaughn. Hey, Shamagic showed up. What's going on, sir? Always great to see you. Always love seeing your videos on Instagram. Follow Shamagic. Doing some great stuff, magic tricks, close-up magic. Really love that stuff. So, all right, guys. Love ya. I'll see you members on Wednesday and everybody else on Friday. Talk to you later.